Hello. If anyone's watching already.
Away. Away.
Is that pig?
Yeah. Away. No.
So yeah, I emptied them all out into little jars.
Yeah.
But I couldn't peel the labels off, so I just made my own.
Come on then. Okay. Right, you can go away, Bob. Off you go. Off you go. Yep. Come on.
Well, that's going to stop her. Okay, making linseed pittas today. Come say hi if you're watching, so that I'm not just talking to myself.
I'm going to ignore you.
Huh?
I said because I'm going to ignore you because I got told off last time.
You can talk to me, just don't wash loads of pans in the sink with vinaigrette. Very few ingredients are needed for this. I'm going to make...
Can you make it without linseed?
No, you can't make linseed pittas without linseed. You can swap some of the linseed for ground almonds, but I don't recommend going more than halfway. So, for example, I'm using 160 grams of golden linseed. Use at least 80 grams and then 80 almond. It just doesn't give it, it won't bind if you don't use linseed. Hence why they're called linseed pittas. Sorry, I'm just plugging in the crepe pan. So, you can use a standard non-stick pan, or I've got the crepe pan so that it's easier to see. And ingredients are literally linseed, baking powder, eggs, and water, and then flavourings as you would like. So I like to add a bit of herbs into these, but other than that, I'll leave them plain. So 160 grams of golden linseed. This is the linseed that's on the website. It's milled quite finely. I don't know whether it's going to... Oh, actually it is focusing. Wow. Let's see. We've just got a giant tub of it. So 160 grams of that. And what I'm doing here is basically some meal prep because these are going to go in the freezer. We've got a fair amount of bread in the fridge at the moment. I'm going to freeze these with the greaseproof in the middle of them to keep them as they, with pockets. And then you just quickly toast them. I whack them in under the Ninja Grill whilst I'm doing a filling or something. And there you go. It actually they really work if you toast them again once they've been baked because they go nice and crispy. Linseed bread, linseed rolls, linseed pittas, that collection of recipes in our library, it can be a bit wet. Not like literally, but in texture. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, if you squeeze it, it sort of feels like it's wet. But it's because of the seeds.
It sounds like it, but it isn't actually wet. Okay, so 160 grams of linseed. Hi Fatima, I am making linseed pittas. I've linked the recipe in the description of both videos. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. I see you're watching on YouTube. So if you fancy making it yourself, have a look at that. Okay, so baking powder next. And behind me, Dad is making dinner. So what are you doing now? Cutting sprouts up?
Yeah, prepping the sprouts.
we very rarely have sprouts, to be fair. Now,
well, we only have them in season.
Yeah, but we've had a joint of gammon roasting throughout today because Dad and Louis are at the bakeries on Sundays. Sunday has become like a slow roast day, so today it's gammon with sprouts. So I've just mixed in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, or 6 to 8 grams. Now for the eggs and the water. So 4 large eggs.
Should I give them a sprout each?
I don't.
Well, I know she will chew it, and then sort of he won't.
Are dogs allowed sprouts? Yeah, I think he's had one before. He started peeling it.
Okay.
One.
There's yours. Okay, there's yours. Good girl.
Oh, she
She
got
it. Yeah, she's.
And now they try and figure out what to do with it. This time last year, Archie got another sprout and he decided to peel it layer by layer and scattered it across the kitchen. And now we have 2 dogs who are both interested in sprouts. He's actually eating it.
Is it?
Or pretending to.
Pretending to,
You know how sometimes he likes to show that he's grateful for the food, so he pretends to, he spat it back out again.
He's spitting it. Right. So.
Alright, 4 eggs have gone in. Hi, Michelle. This is actually, credit for the recipe. This is Michelle's recipe. So the linseed bread was mine, but Michelle, being Michelle, tried to make pittas out of it using this. It's quite a creative idea, and it really works. Total tangent. What's on the cooling rack on the hob? Mega. Keen eyes. This is James from YouTube.
Hi James, how you doing, mate?
Do you wanna...
Wow.
So how's Dad and Lou at the bakery?
So we these will be going on the website actually, but these are for Louis' lunch during the week. These are mega baguettes. So effectively they're the equivalent of 2 rolls. They're sort of just over 200 grams each. As you can see, we get slightly different shapes, ever so slightly. You can sort of see one's grown quite long, one's gone a little bit fatter, but they're sizable. I don't know what. There's a tape measure.
Don't put it on that.
It's fine. It's only warm.
Toasting them.
So anything between a 10-inch and a 9-inch. It's just how it grows. They get rolled in the same. Can the subs? Can't see the food.
Can't see what food.
Can't see what food. However, this one is a recipe that Ella's been developing, and this is gluten-free. Not ready yet. Not ready.
It's in development.
It's very, very, very close. I've actually baked that today over at the bakery because we need to see what it does in the big ovens.
Okay, eggs have gone in. Last thing is water. All I've just added in whilst I was showing you the subs was herbs and salt, just to taste. As you can see, it's thick at the moment, and obviously the water will help reduce this down. Now, the linseed bread, basically, the longer you leave it to sit, the thicker it goes. And for making pittas, you want to... I can't get rid of subtitles covering your kitchen, your counter, on the screen. Okay, so that's not us making the subtitles. That's Facebook.
Yeah. So you can turn them off. Go to the.
Hang on, I'll get the video up on here and I'll try and do it myself. 1 second.
You go to the wheel.
Actually, no, it's the bit
Is it
next
the
to the
captions?
wheel.
So CC, the captions.
There's a rectangle at the bottom of the video. It says CC, and you can basically tell it to turn off. If not, head to YouTube and find us on there, and you can find this video there, and there aren't subtitles there. Right, 120 mils of warm water going in. That's that. And obviously, you've just got to be careful with this so you don't splash yourself, but gently mix it in, and the mix will get a bit thinner. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh out 1 pitta's worth of mix, and we can get started with the actual making the pitta. And what you'll see is obviously the rest of this mix will stay in the bowl, and once I get to pitta number 6, the mix might be a bit too thick again, so I might need to add a bit more water. So I'll show you the kind of consistency I prefer to make these pittas. So obviously you want it to be able to be spreadable. Greaseproof. Alright, so all you need for this is either a good non-stick pan or a crepe pan, something of the sort. You can also do it in a panini press.
Go.
So I've got a piece of greaseproof. And I'm just going to fold it. I'll show you what it. I'm folding it into the size or the shape that I want the pocket to be. So I've just folded down the edge and then folded in the corners so it's a bit more rounder, but it's not. It's like a trapezium. Okay. This mix can either make 4 or 6 pittas. I prefer making 6. The 4s are just a bit too big. So I use about 80 grams of mix for each pitta. So the reason why I'm just weighing it out in a separate bowl is because it's a bit easier. So there's 80 grams in there. So hang on, let me just move that a little bit further back. So hopefully you can see that. All right, actually, I'm going to try something. Let's bring the camera down and there. All right, zoomed in. Okay, so I've got 80 grams of mix here. That's for 1 pitta. I'm going to take about half of that and plop it. This crepe pan's been heating up whilst I've been mixing, so it is hot now. Yeah, so there's 40 grams left in the bowl. Okay. Now here is where I hope this pan is still non-stick.
It's the first one might, but the second one usually works fine.
Yeah. If not, I'll add some oil to the next one, but should be fine. So I'm just using the back of the spoon, spread it out, like so. So it's about hand size. Okay. My grease proof, which has been folded with the corners down, I'm just going to plop that on top of the mix, like that. So you can see there's a gap around the side. This is where it's going to seal. Oh, right. I'm going to stop focusing again. No, it's gone back.
Do you want me to do something?
Well, it seems to be all right. Let me move that out of the way. Give it less things to focus on. Move that more in shot. There we go. Suzanne, this is just from Amazon. Michelle got it for us a couple of years ago. Yeah. So the rest of the mix is going on top now. So I'm whacking it on top of the grease proof.
Technical term.
I only use technical terms.
Yeah.
And then same thing, just spreading this out. And obviously I want it to meet around this side. Doesn't need to go all the way over. Just so that it meets the pocket. So you want at least half of the mix on the base, but actually you could go a little bit more mix on the base because obviously you don't need as much going around this side. So that's now completely covered. I can't see the grease proof. And this side, I'm just getting it to match up so the pitta is the same size on either side of the grease proof. So letting that sit and cook. The base will cook. Obviously, this top bit won't. I'm going to get a spatula or what's the palette knife and carefully flip it over to cook on the other side.
They've actually eaten those sprouts.
Have they eaten them?
Yeah, I was just going around clearing up. You like sprouts now?
Where's the palette knife?
It should be in there. Should be. I've not used it for several days.
So if you were doing this in a panini press, then same method, use the grease proof, and then it will cook both sides at the same time. So it's a little bit quicker. Don't want that to break up. Patience. I'm just picking the edges off. And again, same method in a normal pan as well. You might need a bit of oil or butter. But it depends on your appliance. Okay, I'm going to weigh out the next 80 grams whilst we're waiting for this to cook.
Right, Eric, come on, out. Yeah, don't hovering.
So again, it's
Off you go.
started to thicken up, but it's still okay to work with at the moment. Okay, so you can see the base layer, or I can see, it's gone out of focus again. It wants to focus on the bowl. Get the bowl out, so. Has that gone back? Yeah, I think. The base has gone ever so slightly tougher. You can tell, obviously, it's near to being cooked. There's not really much danger of overcooking this, unless you really do forget about it for like several minutes, but there we go. So I can slide the palette knife under a little bit more. No pressure. I'm going to try and turn this now. There we go. Picked up in one piece. Carefully slide it down. Okay. There's a hole there, but that will do. Do you know what I might do? I'm just going to use a bit of mix and dab it on there, and then I'll flip it over again to seal it up.
Are you patchworking?
Yeah. Another technical term. Obviously, this side doesn't take as long to cook because it was already getting hot. Okay, so you can't use coconut flour at all in this recipe. You have to use some linseed in this, otherwise they won't work. You can sub some of the linseed for almonds, but make sure at least half of the flour weight is linseed. Almonds and linseed can be used 1-to-1, so I use 160 grams of linseed. You can go up to using 80 grams of each, but I would always stick to maybe 100 grams of linseed, 60 grams of almonds. Linseed binds better than almonds. Okay, so I can pick this up on the other side. I'm going to flip it over to sort out the patchworking bit. Yeah, that side looks a lot better. You see some little air pockets, but the actual thing is firm. I know the light's kind of reflecting on it a little bit there, but let's get the spoon rack out of the way so I can use some of the corner rack. So, once these are cooked, stick them on a cooling rack and leave this greaseproof in until it's got a little bit cooler. Just because if you try and remove it too soon, you'll burn your hand. There's a load of steam inside of this, and you just want it to kind of cool around the greaseproof so that it doesn't kind of stick together if you take it out too early. Once it's been taken out, then fill it with whatever you want. If you're freezing this, take the greaseproof out, but then put a bit in to keep the two sides separated, just so it makes it easier when you come to defrost it. And actually, if you were to take, you can already see it's kind of coming away from the greaseproof already. But again, leave it in for say 15 minutes as they cool. Then you can take the greaseproof out ever so slowly. You just pull, and you'll be surprised as to how little it sticks. Fingers crossed if it works. Let's see what this other side's looking like now. There we go. So my patchwork bit works. I mean, you can see the little paler bit, but now there is no crack. So that's great. So that's going off to the side. And we'll put the next one on. So as you can see, the mix is a bit thicker now. That's fine. It's still spreadable. As I said, towards the end of making this, the bowl of mix that I've got sat over to the side might be a bit too thick. In that case, add a dash more water. Be careful because too much water and they'll just start to break up. You just want it to be easily spreadable like this. And if you're using a pan especially, leave it to heat back up again once you've taken one pitta off. You want it to sizzle as you put the mix on. So this, every time it touches a new bit of the crepe pan, it starts sizzling and it starts cooking immediately. Right, so I'll do the greaseproof again. So I'm going to use, oh wow, go on then, show dinner. There's dinner.
Oh, lads. So I've just pan fried some sprouts in the leeks that we used with the gammon when I slow roasted it. So they've gone very crispy.
Okay, strip of greaseproof that I've just folded over. Now I'm going to take the folded edge and just fold down 2 triangles.
Cool.
So now you have that. That's going to go on. Gently press it down. Obviously it sticks to the dough. Remainder on top. And again, you don't need to push this one all the way to the edge on this side. You just need it to join. That leaves more mix to push up this side, which is where you want it to be. So you want to cover the greaseproof and try and get it as close to the same shape of the base as you can. And again, we just let that cook. So I'm not going to do all of these on the low because that would be time consuming and boring. And dinner's ready.
Dinner's ready.
And dinner's ready. But again, leave that to cook on the first side for 5 minutes. Then very carefully use your spatulas or palette knives. Start by going around the edge, and once this can go all the way underneath, you know that it's pretty much there. Lift it up, get some of that air out from underneath it, and then you'll find it easier to lift it back up. And quickly flip it over. Don't try and gently toss it over because then you'll push all the mix up and you'll be left with a gigantic hole. So, this pitta's been cooling down. Obviously you can see the little patchworky bit, but other than that, it looks pretty decent. I'm going to get a knife and we can run, actually I like use that. So let's just push that out of the way a little bit. This pitta is still a bit warm, but I want to try and get the greaseproof out to show you what it looks like. So use a blunt knife or this palette knife, just something that can kind of ease the greaseproof off. I mean, it's already, you can tell it's not stuck to it. Not focusing again. How can it focus so easily?
It's focusing on the book. Oh, actually, you got the
but it's
booking
focusing
shot.
on the crepe.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. And very gently. And they wait with bated breath. Ta-da! Look at that! Clean greaseproof! Not a single bit, I'm well proud of that. Not a single bit of bread is stuck, so there you go. There's the inside. Ta-da! Can you tell I'm happy? Okay, so there's the inside of the pitta. Obviously, it's a bit fragile. It's not like a typical gluten pitta. There is no gluten in this to bind it together. So just bear that in mind. I like to toast these before filling them again. It gets them nice and crispy and also, again, dries out that middle. As I was saying, when you're letting them cool down even more, this is still quite a warm pitta. Get that bit of grease through, scrunch it up, and just lift up one side and see how that kind of props it up. It looks like that thing from Finding Dory. Hi guys.
Do you want me to
Yeah, go on.
So
then.
is it this one?
Yeah, but you also need to point it back upwards.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's it. Almost there. Bit more.
There you go. There you go.
So, pitta is done. And again, just let that cool to one side. Let's see if I can flip this over. Quickly. Exactly, Suzanne. Wow. So that was Michelle's method of making a pitta. I'm not taking credit for this. I made the recipe, but I didn't make the method. Teamwork, Michelle. There we go. So again, if you're going to freeze this, store it like that, essentially. So take the pitta out, take the greaseproof out, let it cool down properly, then put a bit more greaseproof inside, so that the two sides don't stick together when they're frozen. It really does help. And then post to defrost them quickly. There we go. Michelle says you've done me proud. There we go. So I'm going to freeze all 6 of these and just have them ready for a quick lunch or something like that, and fill with whatever is available. All right, we're done.
We're done.
Happy?
Yeah, all good.
You've tried one of these before?
Not the pittas. No, I mean I've had the linseed bread before. Yeah, but not
because these are
pittas.
quite nice and they've got a nice crispiness to them once I've toasted them again.
Yeah.
Right, you've got the mouse. You need to bend the knife.
Okay. Thank you, folks.
Thanks for watching.
Who's on tomorrow?
No one's on tomorrow.
No one's on
Michelle's
tomorrow.
on Tuesday morning.
Right.
Oh God, she's making Christmas pudding with flames at 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Only on Facebook.
Wow.
There we go.
Right.
See you
Have
later.
fun. See you later. Bye.